50 TV presents Gentle Giant with Pam Minnick and Katie Kaufman.
Welcome to Gentle Giants. This week we're in Waverly, Iowa, where the population doubles as buyers and sellers arrive for the Waverly Midwest Horse Sale. And although it's cold here in March, the enthusiasm at the auction is hot.
That's right, Pam. For nearly 70 years, Waverly has been a prime source for draft horses and everything associated with them. 4 days of non-stop auctions of horses, wagons, and thousands of horse-related items.
We'll bring you 2 shows from Waverly. This week we'll share the history, reputation, and lots of draft horses. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Gentle Giants. The Waverly sale began in 1947, just as America was becoming mechanized. Autos and tractors were replacing heavy horses. Here, Arnold Hexum played a key part in keeping the draft horse industry alive.
And going, Arnold Hexum had a dream, and he started it. And my dad came in 1964 as a partner, and they started out in a little circle, on a wagon, and they went to a tent through the late 60s and through the 70s, and that's when I was just a little boy then. But I remember it. I used to help here since I was about 8 years old.
When Arnold Hexum started the sale, they had it out where they're driving horses right now. It was in the middle of a circle of bales. And they led the horses out there and were selling them, and people were laying and sitting around the bales, and there was trucks there that they were all standing in and watching the horses sell. Then later on, I'm not sure what year, that they put a tent up and sold horses in.
I can remember some of the older gentlemen say if it wouldn't have been for Waverly, when the draft horse industry was kind of going down and the tractors were coming in, they said they thought the draft horse business was over with. However, Arnold and Bill, they've kind of picked the thing up and brought it to life, and they've really made the draft horse a very important tool to a lot of the people in the United States, and that's why just about every state in the United States will be represented at this sale.
It's very interesting because you meet people from all over the world, and you're kind of surprised at where some of them come from. Canada's pretty regular, but we get them here from China and Germany and everything else.
Significant point is this sale's been going 67 years, and for public draft horse sales, that's unheard of. The fact that it's still going is a tribute to Arnold Hexum. I can't emphasize how important the man was to today's draft horse industry.
Arnold was joined by Bill Dean and his wife Elsie, who later passed the business on to their children, Ron Dean and his wife Dee, and daughter Sharon Beyer and her husband Dave. Under their leadership, the sale has continued to grow and thrive.
It's kind of like coming home. It's familiar, you like it. Always liked the people that were here, Arnold Hexum and Bill Dean, now Ron and Spanky. You get to know these people and you trust them, and it's just a good sale to come to. We always buy all our horses here, and we sell all our horses here. So I've been coming to the Waverly sales since 1970.
Waverly is a place like none other. It's been going on, I don't know how many years. I've been here for about 36 years. It's been going long before that. It started in a tent, but you pretty much have to come to see it to really get the whole effect of it. I mean, between the equipment, the machinery, the buggies, the carriages, the horses, and then the hitching outside. It's a 4-day event, and it's a full 4 days when you come here. But if you appreciate good draft horses or crossbreds, you're going to see the best teams that you'll see in the country around here. They'll get some hitch horses, there'll be some pulling horses, but the Waverly is noted for teams, and you'll notice there'll be a lot of guys from the West here, and that's what they come for, is teams to feed their cattle or teams to give rides with. We also have a lot of outfitters here from out west that buy horses to go into the mountains with and give rides to the hunters and things like that. But it's a very mixed group of people. You'll find people that are ready to go in the show ring. You're going to find a guy that just wants a team to plow his garden. So you're going to get everything in between, and it's just quite a sale. You really got to see it to believe it.
The people come from all over the country. They come from Canada, The breeders and showers are always coming here looking for new additions to teams, to show teams, to work teams. This is the place to come, and this is where they bring them to sell. They do have a preview of your higher class teams. They'll talk about the teams, they talk about their breeding and what they've done, if they've been around the country, won any awards, if they've been shown extensively. They also will hitch these teams and tell them how they hitch, how they act around the pole if they're hitching them, how they harness, how they clip, and anything that people need to know as far as being taken care of them.
Well-broke teams seem to sell really well out here. There's a lot of people that are looking for small farm horses, or small farmers anyway, that do vegetable work, growing, and they want a team to do the work with. And also there's carriage people, there's people that do carriage work and do funerals, give hay rides, and they're looking for well-broke horses. And a lot of the Amish are here looking for replacement horses too.
It's another unique aspect about the Waverly Horse Sale is just the variety of horses that you'll see here. I mean, there's been a lot of high show horses, breeding horses. The thing it's known for across the country is the broke teams and the well-matched teams, and people really travel a long ways to find them here. And the fact that so many of them are here is a tribute to the local Amish communities.
So Waverly has become very well known as a draft team, whether it be a hobby team or a team for the farm. We have a lot of people come from all 48 states, Canada, Mexico, and France to buy good, well-broke teams to take back home and use. It's a very unique sale. It started back in the 40s, and there's everything that you could possibly want to sale. There's horse-drawn equipment, there's tack, there's horses. There's just a lot of things here to do. Now, the Waverly Horse Sale has been known for honesty and integrity throughout the years. Arnold Hexum started that. Then when he and Bill Dean became partners, they carried that on, and now with Ron and Davis, it's stayed the same. We guarantee our horses from what the people say. We do our hitch carting when the horses hitch outside, and we go by what the hitch cards say.
We're known, for being caring people and running an honest auction. That's why we've been here so long. Come here, don't be afraid to buy something. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. I'll tell you exactly what I know about the horse and what I know about the person selling it.
I do believe that people just do have a good reputation here. Sometimes when you do a sale out of home, the horse can be drugged or have issues that people won't tell you about. So being here, you know that everything's been vet checked and looked over, and people are very honest. You ask them a question, they'll tell you a straight answer.
When Gentle Giants returns, we'll see some horses that might end up in a champion hitch. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Gentle Giants. The Waverly Sale has every kind of horse you could be looking for, from pleasure and recreation to hardy work horses to high-stepping show horses. Diana Marquardt, owner of Shining Stars Champion Percherons, makes sure the Waverly Sale is on her calendar.
Welcome to Waverly. This is pretty much an iconic draft horse. It was the first one that I ever attended. Bought my first horse here. Fred came. He was a 9-year-old gelding that had been retired off of a world champion hitch, and I can remember them telling me to set a limit. You have to set a limit. And so I bid $2,500 and got the horse bought. And within 15 minutes, I could have resold him and doubled my money, but I opted to take him home. So welcome to Waverly. It's pretty much one of the foundations for the draft horse industry. You, once in a while, can get very lucky and find that diamond in a rough, and I think that's what every person here is looking for, is that one potential that may shoot out that somebody sees that might not be fully finished or quite ready to go yet. But like us, we're very fortunate with Gary, who found a few horses out in pastures that were good prospects, and they filled a great purpose for us last summer in the hitch. They have to have the right potential, size, action, headset, those type things, and if they can fit that bill, you might take a chance on them and see if you can take them home. Well, if you sit out there and you watch the environment those horses have to perform in, there's no fence to drive off of. There's a lot of chaos. Every horse is going a different direction, and these horses, a lot of them, like the stud horse we watched was driving in a smooth snaffle. He's obviously a broke horse. He's just going out there and doing his job. That gives you a lot of a story about a horse. A couple of young horses out there that hadn't had a lot of time under them, just got there in February to the trainer. They have a lot of potential. There's one horse out there that's got a great deal of potential in my mind. But when the gentleman scores them and he watches them and they're going through the ring, and the cell ring gives you a little bit of a background to them, how they did and how well they performed.
The wonderful part about horses here are that when you look at a team, you will be able to see them hitch and drive. They actually score the teams. So when the team hits the sale ring, you will see the auctioneer say the team hitches well, they swing well, they do this, they do that. And oftentimes you're looking at horses who have been worked in the field, maybe on an Amish farm, and when they come here, there's a level of integrity and honesty at this sale that you can really take home with you, and that's a nice part of it.
The tradition of judging the horses that are selling as broke probably started here at the Waverly Horse Sale. It's done at most of the other sales too, but this is the only one where two judges stay out there and they're marking a card that goes in with the horse when it sells. And what goes on that card has to do with how that horse drove at the sale, not what the consignor says or not how the horse drove it home or any other way. So it does have a lot more meaning to potential buyers and buyers.
That starts way back with Arnold Hexton and followed through with Bill Dean and right on down the line. You'll expect to be representing your horse the way it's supposed to be. There's a vet on staff at all times. If you buy a horse and you don't think that horse is sound or what it's supposed to be, you have the right to take it to the vet. And the vet deems that it's not that way, you can turn the horse down. I mean, it's got to be the vet's decision, no, they're not. But yeah, they try to do the best. We've got some consigners that have been coming here for many, many years, and I mean, they've got their own reputation going there. There's guys that come from out west that buy only a certain man's horse because of the reputation that they do have there. Some of these Amish gentlemen that are breaking these horses and that, there's guys that have bought their horses several years running, and they'll come and buy a team every year just for that reason, because they know the reputation of them there and that thing.
Well, we just wanted to make sure everybody knew how the horses acted, how they worked. I mean, they can look for themselves, but it just makes people a little more easy at mind when they know someone that knows about judging horses. Because we get a lot of people come here that have not really had too many horses, and they want to get into horses. So you want to give them a good taste in their mouth by they know they can get a good, reliable horse. You know, because that's the worst thing. You know, they get something that runs off or is bad or something. That ruins it for everybody and gives sales a bad reputation. So we kind of do the extra step and judge them, and we tell them the way it is.
Well, people know that, you know, if we don't have an evaluation system, a guy comes in the ring and just, let's say, he's not the most honest guy in the world, he might say, oh, this team is just broke perfect. And obviously, if you put them out here on the wagon, that might not be the case. And that we just keep people honest so that the buyer is pretty much getting the horse that he thinks he is.
We come out here and we watch them hitch. We watch them as they come out from the barn, how quiet they are. We watch them hitch, if they hitch quietly or they act up. Then we grade them on the hitching. We watch them drive, if they drive quietly or act up. And then we have them back and also swing. Because the swinging part, some people disagree with it, but it tells us that they're that much better broke and more calm. I think people really appreciate it, and they're getting so they trust the horses they buy out of this sale, because they know we're trying to sell them a finished team of horses or whatever. And Waverly's reputation for selling good teams is really growing.
We're located just 3 miles outside of Yellowstone Park. We do trail rides, fishing trips, and week-long pack trips in Yellowstone. We like to purchase half draft crosses because they're big bone horses that we can use for our business. You get a large selection of draft crosses that we don't have in our country.
Don't go anywhere. When Gentle Giants returns, we'll see first-time draft horse buyers scouting their prospects.
Welcome back to Gentle Giants. The fact that horses consigned to the Waverly sale are driven and judged before they hit the auction ring allows buyers to have confidence in their potential purchase. And that's why Carrie Hahn and Rita McLean made the trip from Montana.
It's awesome. It's great to be here, and it's the experience of a lifetime. I'm here because this has been on my bucket list for a long, long time. It's everywhere knows of Waverly, Iowa when we talk about it, and we have lots of jealous club members in our driving club that are really envious that we're here getting to enjoy this, and we've been sending them pictures on Facebook so they can see what we're doing and having the fun that we are. It's even more than what we had heard. We had heard it was miles and miles of equipment and horses and all of that kind of stuff. And when we got here and saw 4 auctioneers working at once, we were like, oh my gosh, how are we going to be in 4 places at once? It was just mega giant. We are really excited to see him handled. My friend Rita, this is her first driving horse, and so we want to get out there, we want to see how they handle, hopefully how they unload even from the horse trailer, and watch them harness, watch them drive those horses, and really get a feel for their personalities and what's going to be a good, safe horse for her as a beginning driver.
I'm here to buy my first driving horse. I'm here with my friend Carrie Hahn, and she has Percherons, and I went with her last year for the whole summer and drove her Percherons and got hooked. So I'm here to find my first driving horse. I'm kind of partial to Percherons because she got me hooked, but I'd probably be a cross because I need something a little smaller. Those are big horses. You can never get over the thrill of having one out in front of you. I did a rating system, 5 stars to 2-star, and yeah, I've got a couple of handfuls to pick from. You can look at the catalog all you want, but I think maybe once I see the right horse, I'll know the right horse. I've been told that if you're really interested, you talk to the right person, maybe you can get on the lines and test drive them. So yeah, it's kind of exciting. I'm not sure. This is my first time.
Rita went home with Lot 283, Wyoming, a 9-year-old Percheron quarter horse cross that's broke to ride and drive. Wyoming now lives in Montana. Roger Toms of Roll-In Clydesdales in Pennsylvania is selling a young horse he trained.
Belongs to my brother-in-law and my sister, a coming 2-year-old Clydesdale gelding, and I broke him here after the first of the year. And my son Jason broke him to ride, and he drives great single. There's not many horses, being a 2-year-old, that I would recommend for a beginner. He'd be great for a beginner. Nothing seems to bother him. Waverly, it's a very unique sale. It's a sale that's hard to explain to anybody. All the horses, and they're in pens that are tied up. They're side by side. And it's just hard to believe all the horses getting along and where they drive, all the different hitches that are people out driving at the same time, seeing them, and all the equipment out there.
Captain, he's kind of a big rascal. He's 19.1 and 19.2 with the shoes on, and he's as good as he is big. He's as gentle and broke and quiet as there is, but yet if you want to turn him on and show him, he'll show. We showed him for about 6 years, so he's showable. Well, we've shown him in everything. He was our wheel horse on our 6-horse hitch and the unicorn and the 4, and in the team class, so he went in for everything that he could go in. We showed him single. He's just a good old boy, the one that you kind of like to have there. Well, Dylan, we had to do a lot of talking in order to sell Captain. Dylan thought that was not the right thing to do, but he always loves him in the barn, in the tie stalls. He's always sitting on him and spinning his ropes and crawled between his legs and everything. If you don't love him and take care of him, you can't buy him. So that's what we're kind of hoping for, is somebody that can buy him and use him and give him a good home.
In need of finding a good horse that I can drive and ride. I do like Percherons. I had a Percheron that was 19 hands high when I was younger, and he just reminds me of her so much, just with his personality. And he's just so gentle and he's so sweet, and you can do anything to him, and I feel safe around him. And I have 2 kids that I feel that would be safe around him too.
When the bidding was done, Kristen had the high bid on Oak Ridge Captain and is taking him back to Wisconsin.
We want to thank all of you for watching us this time on Gentle Giants. We've had so much fun here at the Waverly auction.
And there's so much to cover. We'll actually be doing 2 shows from Waverly. We hope you enjoyed this week, where we learned about the history, all those horses, and saw a couple of special buyers as well. Next week, we'll show you acres of wagons and sleighs and carriages and take you to the sale ring.
That's right, Pam. But in the meantime, you can check us out on Facebook.
Bye now.